Hey, what's up, sports fans, and welcome into the Monday, August the 26th, 2019 episode of the Jason A. Marks Sports Report. If you're a big sports fan like I am, you've come to the right place. I love talking sports. If you like what you hear, please click subscribe on the audio platform that you're listening to, and don't forget to leave a rate and review and tell a friend. It's always very much appreciated. This is actually the very first episode of the Jason A. Marks Sports Report. It's my new little project that I'm doing. I've done a couple other little things, so hopefully a few of you out there at least recognize me from the Stephen J. Show or Bottomless Banter, one or the other. Hopefully at least two of you. This is my new little project that I was actually going to launch here. I was planning on doing it on Labor Day, actually, coming up next week. But Andrew Luck then decided to go and change my plans yesterday. If you'd like to shoot a text or a voicemail to the show, that's a new feature that I'm trying on this show, on the Sports Report. I couldn't think of a name, by the way, so everything I kept thinking of, even to the point where I thought I had it and I would build a logo and then I would find out that somebody else has already taken it. It seems like everybody has a podcast and everybody has a name for a podcast. So I couldn't think of anything. So you got Jason A. Marks Sports Report. So if you'd like to, please, that's something new that I'm doing. Text or voicemail for the show, 209-787-7081. You can call or text that 24/7. I've always got my phone on me. You're probably going to hear back from me. Very likely going to hear back from me. If you leave a voicemail, though, I do need to warn you that your voicemail may be played. I may play it on the show. I have the capabilities to do that, and I might put your voice on the air. So don't leave a voicemail if you don't want to hear yourself on the air. You don't want to put yourself on the air. Don't leave a voicemail, hang up, and send a text, please. With all that out of the way, the Andrew Luck situation. Holy smokes. So I'm watching the Niner game. The Niners were playing the Chiefs. And the announcer said, I don't think it was Drake Papa. Anyway, the announcer said that Adam Schefter had just shocked the world with a tweet stating that Andrew Luck had decided to retire. I was shocked just hearing it. I knew that he had been dealing with this mysterious lower leg, calf, something injury. But to hear that he was retiring out of the blue like this, I was floored. So first thing I did, I grabbed my phone, I start thumbing through it and I found all sorts of stuff. I saw the Colts fans. This actually happened. The tweet got dropped during the Colts Bears games. The Bears were at the Colts. So home game for Indy. Andrew Luck standing on the sidelines. And Adam Schefter drops a I'm ready to retire and call it quits tweet. I can't imagine as a fan. 209-787-7081 if you're a Colts fan. I want to know how you felt. I want to know what you're thinking when it happened. I want to know what you're thinking now. It's Monday evening. I would imagine that you've had a chance to kind of let it settle in, and during the game, Colts fans, when when Andrew Luck walked off the field, he got booed off the field, which for a once-in-a-generation quarterback, former number 1 overall pick, to get booed off the field like that because he's retiring, saying literally that he's just tired of being in the loop of constantly being injured, going through rehab, getting injured, going through rehab, being injured. He's tired of that. And well, here's actually Andrew from his press conference via Colts Twitter. Here, this is actually the actual press conference.
For the last 4 years or so, I've been in this cycle of injury, pain, rehab, injury, pain, rehab. And it's been unceasing and unrelenting, both in season, both in and off season.
So there you go. To me, that right there stands out the absolute most from Andrew Luck's press conference. That statement right there, that little 15-second of his press conference tells the whole story. How can you blame the guy when, and he later on in the press conference, he literally said, I cannot live the life that I want to live. Football's getting in the way of him living the life that he wants to live. How can you blame the guy from walking away from something, a sport, a competitive sport, because it's not allowing him to live the life that he wants to live, and you're going to boo him off the field? I would be absolutely embarrassed if I was a Colts fan. So that's why I say I want to hear from Colts fans. 209-787-7081. I want to hear your opinion on this whole craziness. And that's what it is. It's just absolutely insane. They were calling it the most shocking retirement since Barry Sanders, which I thought when I first heard that, I thought, well, no, Barry was significantly more shocking, because my first reaction was because Andrew Luck's been hurt. So at least we've had that quote unquote warning, where with Barry, it seemed like it came completely out of the blue. I mean, the Lions sucked, but it still came out of the blue. So to me, that was more of a shocking retirement, because Barry was in his prime. He looked like he was going to pass Walter Payton for the all-time NFL rusher. He had plenty of gas left in the tank. And then he just up and retired without no injuries, no living through years of chains of injuries and having to rehab from them. Like, he just retired. So to me, that was more of a shocker. I think that Andrew Luck gets shocker points because of the way it came out and when it came out, and the fact that he's a quarterback too. I mean, quarterbacks are the franchises, and were even back then. They always have been. So amazing. I just, insane, crazy. Shocking. Again, 209-787-7081. I want to hear what you guys think. Colts fans, not non-Colts fans, just football fans. I want to hear what you guys think about this. To me, again, my initial reaction was, well, there has to be something more serious about this lower leg injury, this mysterious lower leg area injury that they keep changing the story on. There has to be something more to that, where the rehab of that is a little bit more extensive, I think, than maybe we're thinking now because of what we've heard or what we've been told. So that was my first question was that. And then to hear Andrew say literally in the press conference, the last 4 years have been just a cycle of injuries and rehabbing from them and getting hurt again. Again, who can blame the guy? Zach Kiefer, who covers the Indianapolis Colts for The Athletic, had a pretty interesting tweet over the weekend where he listed the injuries that Andrew Luck has suffered over the last 6 years. And I'm just going to run down them real quick here. I'm going to exactly read his tweet. He had torn cartilage in 2 ribs. Ouch. That sounds horrible. Torn cartilage in 2 ribs. And you're supposed to throw a football and have 300-pound men chase you and try to stop you from doing that. Yeah, that sounds wonderful. He had a partially torn abdomen, which I remember when I read that. I remember hearing about that, and I'm not the biggest Colts fan. I don't see a lot of the Colts here in California, so I had actually kind of forgotten about that one. He also had a lacerated kidney that left him peeing blood after. Peeing blood. For football. Yeah, no. Not happening, Captain. He also had at least 1 concussion, which, of course, we don't really know how many concussions the man's had. You can't really say that you're telling me that the hits that he's taken over the years and he's only had 1 concussion. Come on now. He, of course, had the torn labrum in his throwing shoulder, which caused him to sit out an entire year when Jacoby Brissett was, of course, acquired, I believe, from the Patriots is when the Colts got him. Now we're going to see what Mr. Brissett has in his bag of tricks. I'm actually a little bit excited to see him. I'm kind of curious. I think he's a little bit better quarterback than we're thinking, as far as we're meaning football fans that don't see a whole lot of the Colts. I wonder what Colts fans think about it. What do you think about Brissett taking over as starting quarterback for the Colts? Are they still Super Bowl contenders? In today's NFL, can the Colts, with their defense that they have and their offensive line that they have, if they had a stronger running game, do you think they would be a Super Bowl contender? Maybe they have a stronger running game than we're giving them credit for. What do you guys think? 209-787-7081. Let me know. Shoot me a text. Call me up. Leave a voicemail. And the last injury that was listed on the tweet was, of course, the great mysterious calf, ankle, leg injury that nobody seems to really know what the heck it is. And again, I really think that there's a pretty strong chance that that was something a lot more serious than they're letting off. And he was looking at some pretty extensive rehab for that, which is what sparked this, I would think. There was an interesting little Twitter back and forth between colleagues as Dud Gottlieb of FS1 tweeted out, he said, "Retiring because rehabilitating is too hard," in quotes, "is the most millennial thing ever. Hashtag Andrew Luck." Which, I mean, come on, man. Okay, well, Troy Aikman had a little something to say about that. And I unfortunately can't read the whole thing, but he said, "That's total BS, Doug." That's the part I can't read because he didn't say BS. He spelt it out. "That's total BS, Doug. What qualifies you to decide how someone should live their life? So you're now the authority on what motivates Andrew Luck. And if his decisions don't fit into what you think is best for him, for you to then rip him. Guess that keeps you employed on FS1. Nice." It's so Troy with a dig. And the funniest thing to me is Troy's a Fox employee. So nice. Just Well done, Troy. And well said, too, because come on, Doug. Really? Tool. It's called saying something so that you can get retweeted, I suppose. Do it for the attention. What do you guys think about Doug Gottlieb's tweet? And what do you think about Troy Aikman's reply to Doug Gottlieb's tweet? How do you feel about all of it? 209-787-7081. Let me know. There was a bit of an interesting tweet that surfaced following the Andrew Luck retirement. I found this very interesting. It was tweeted out on the 24th, so I believe that was the day that this all happened. And LaRon McClain, who is a former fullback for the San Diego Chargers and Baltimore Ravens, he had a pretty disturbing tweet, and I'm just going to read part of it. It said, "Need to tell my story of how my head is crazy and how football did it. Please, someone help me get this out." And then he goes on to, he kind of loses me there. It says, "At NFL puts paperwork in front faces and that's it." So he's saying paperwork in front of your face and that's all their help is what I'm pulling out of that. It's sad to see that and to see a former player say that he reach out and literally say that he needs help. And I would imagine he's probably played either being a fullback, he's probably played linebacker or fullback or defensive lineman since high school days, since probably middle school days, Pop Warner days, I would imagine. And he's literally saying here that his head scrambled from it. And then we boo Andrew Luck for retiring when he's 29 years old and in his prime and playing for a Super Bowl contender because he doesn't want to do this to his body anymore. You're going to boo him. 209-787-7081. Let me know what you think about that. Also, let me know if you're a parent, with all this, does this make you less likely to allow your kid to play football? Would you let your kid play Pop Warner football? Would you make him wait till high school? Would you let him play at all? Would you want them to play at all? 209-787-7081. Let me know what you think. Curious how football going into this didn't exactly have a shining reputation in terms of health. The concussion thing has been the concussion thing, like it's just a thing. The concussion issue has been brought to the forefront over the last few years. But I got to think that something like this with the face of a franchise and a guy that really was a face of the league in Andrew Luck retiring at 29 years old. What's that do to the league's reputation in terms of, is it a healthy sport to let your kid play? 209-787-7081. Let me know what you think about that. Very curious. Very curious. I don't have any kids, but I can't say that, number one, I wouldn't let them play Pop Warner. They just wouldn't be able to play Pop Warner. I wouldn't let them play till high school myself if they still wanted to play, if my son or daughter wanted to play. And if I had a daughter that was a badass and wanted to go out there and play football, I guess I'd have to let her. I mean, what are you going to do? Not let a kid go out and play? But or him, whoever, him or her. I don't know. That's a tough one. I definitely wouldn't, again, let them play until high school, personally. But even then, what is that? So what's that? So you make them wait till they're 13 instead? Like, big deal. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there. 209-787-7081. Let me know what you think. It's been a bit of a interesting week in the world of wrestling as well. I'm also going to talk a little bit of wrestling here. I won't get too heavy into the wrestling. I won't bore you guys too much, those that do not like wrestling. I'm probably going to keep most of the wrestling posts separate, but I just wanted to say something real quick about this whole Roman Reigns and the whodunit that they've completely fumbled. The whole Eric Fowen thing, Rowan, whatever the hell they're calling this dude with the obviously recently dyed beard that looked like a grown-up old troll beard. Looked like troll hair. It was humorous. It was ridiculous, is what it was. And I got a bad feeling that they're going to end up... I'm waiting for it to come on here in about an hour. I'm in California, so I don't get to enjoy Monday Night Raw until 8 o'clock around here. So I got about another hour to go here. And I got a bad feeling that Eric Rowan, or sorry, not Eric Rowan, fake Rowan, Eric Fowen. I got a feeling that they're gonna make it even worse somehow, and they're gonna like make it Buddy Murphy's dad or something silly, and he was trying to frame Rowan by looking like him and get the heat off of his son who really did it, or they're gonna do something silly. I can tell. Yeah, of course, it's WWE. They're gonna take something ridiculous and silly and make it even more ridiculous and silly, which I watch it every week, so who am I to complain? AEW has their big event coming up this weekend. All In event is coming up. Oh, sorry, All Out. It's All Out this year, not All In. Their biggest event of the year for them. This is their big one. And they've got their big show coming up too. Coming up in October. I would imagine this is going to be their last pay-per-view before they launch the show in October. So, and in somewhat related news, speaking of AEW, the WWE announced that they're moving NXT from the network to USA. So they're putting NXT on cable TV, which I don't know if I like that. NXT is my favorite product in WWE, so I kind of wish they'd just leave it alone and let me enjoy it, but we'll see. I'm curious to see what they do. I've heard that they're going to shut down 205 as well and combine that with NXT, so, and then make NXT 2 hours on FS1, so Doug Gottlieb's show. So Troy Aikman's favorite show, or favorite channel. So, anyway, thank you, folks. I appreciate you guys listening. Let me know what you think about a pro wrestling show as well, being separate, or if I should just keep it here. 209-787-7081. That's how you can get to me. Let me know what you guys think about the Andrew Luck thing. Again, I'm just completely floored. There's some other stuff that I could talk about. Washington named their starting quarterback, which wasn't the guy that I expected it to be. Named Keenum their starting quarterback, so that should be interesting. I'm a big fantasy football player, so keep an eye on things like that, because that sort of thing can affect a few different guys. So we'll see how things go. But yeah, 209-787-7081. Shoot me a text sometime. You can follow me on Twitter at Jayson A. Mark. So yeah, thank you. I'm just completely shy. Again, I was not planning on recording a show today. So I'm a little bit shocked, and I don't really want to talk about much other than the Andrew Luck thing. So it's kind of captured my attention. So let me know what you guys think. 209-787-7081. Thank you again for listening. I very much appreciate it. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah. If I said it, I'm in it to win it. I'm trying to make plays, dog. I'm trying to draw scrimmage. They draw the Simmons, draw this picture. They dragging me up through the sand. These motives they have, they start to question me as a man. But I show no love, they eyes is full of lust. That's why I got no love, homie, that's why I got no trust. And I ain't a bust, yeah, this life is rough. But every time I fell, man, I had to pick myself back up. They ballin', they drinking, alcoholics. Not worried if they callin', I gotta go and get it all. Yeah, I never stop it, I'm always popping this microphone and I'm dropping this heat and I'm never stopping.